What's up, guys? Welcome back again. So today is day 42. So yesterday we finished day 41. So in this series of 100 days of DevOps, so now we're gonna do that day 42 lab. So the lab title is create a Docker network. So had to do something about the Docker network. We had to configure something like that. All right, so if we get ready, let's try to accomplish the challenge. All right, I will try to click the start button right now. So as usual, we're gonna have to wait a moment right here. Alright, so now we will read the given instruction. So Natalia's DevOps team needs to set up several Docker environments for different applications. So one of the team members has been assigned a ticket where he has been asked to create some Docker networks to be used later. So complete the task based on the following ticket description. So now we will have three requirements. So the requirement is says that we have to create a Docker network. So network name is blog block on app server 1. So we should not go to app server 2 and app server 3. Remember that. In Stratos DC. So the second requirement B says that we had to configure it to use bridge drivers. No other kind of like Melbourne and something like that. We don't need to use. We had to use this specific mentioned driver name, and we had to set it to use subnet IP address and IP range right here. This is a given IP range. So alright, so let's to complete the challenge. Let's go. So the first time we have to go to the app server 1. So app server 1 username is this. So you already know the username, right? So we were trying to sign in using SSH, trying to access. So SSH Tony is username, and STAPP step CU1, and I'm gonna say yes and paste the password. Alright, now we are on the app server 1. So let me check the Docker network leaks network keyword network list. So that's gonna be ls. So currently we have three network leaks. Here is the network ID, and here is the name, here is the driver name and they use. Here is the bridge driver, and here's the scope is local. Alright, so now we're gonna create a new Docker network. So before we create new Docker network, I want to explain ahead with a specific diagram of the how does it work of the Docker network. Here's now we are on the app server 1. So and on the app server 1 we will have the Docker engine. So on the app server 1 Docker engine is running. So within the Docker engine we will create a Docker network. So network name is block, blog block. Alright, so when we create a Docker network, we have to give the specified subnet IP range, and also we have to choose the correct and driver name. So for this lab we don't use Melvin, we will use this bridge driver. And then after that, we will get the throughout the bridge driver we get the real alien IP address. And for container 1 it will get the separate IP address, and container 2 it will also get this different IP address, and then they communicate like the physical device. So this is simplified workflow diagram of Docker network. So the only key point is we need to consider carefully this part. We will use here, I will choose this layer. We will use correct driver name, and we will give the correct subnet IP range. So that's it. So now we create a Docker network. So that's when we use Docker and network, BORK network, and we use create. And we will use the specific driver name. That's why I would use -d. So driver name is BRIDG bridge. So BRIDG bridge. And so we have to give the subnet IP range. So subnet value is SUBNET subnet. Value is, I will copy this value. So I will paste right there. And we give the IP range value. So IP range value is --IP range. So value is the same. And then finally we will give the network name. So network name is block, BLOG block. So now I will try to click the enter key. Yeah, so we successfully created Docker network right here. So we can check the Docker network list command again, ls. So you will see that now we get 4 network lists here. So this is the top one, is the network name that we created right now. So here the driver name is bridge, and the network name is block, and scope is local. So for sure you can use this command again, docker network inspect, and network name is block. So you will see that here docker network name is block, and this is the ID. So this is a created date right now. It's a May 1st. And scope is local. Here driver name is bridge. We have to get the correct name right here. It's mentioned driver bridge. And here is a subnet IP range. Everything's correct. So we successfully configure, and at the same time we successfully created a Docker network. So I think we finished for this lab. So finally we'll check it out and click confirm. Yeah, that's it. If I can do it, you can also do it. It's not too hard. It's so easy, right? So thanks for watching and doing together with me. I will see you in the next coming video. Peace out, guys.